Zimbabweans have not been able to carry out electronic transactions in local currency since Saturday after the monetary policy statement, which unveiled a new currency. All online payment platforms were down over the weekend as banks are still working on transitioning from the Zimbabwean dollar to the ZiG. Locals who have local currency bank accounts are, however, worried that the transition may take long, leaving them stuck. Banks have been given up until the 30th of April to complete the transition. Will they beat the deadline? To answer this and more questions on the development, we are now joined live by President of the Bankers Association of Zimbabwe, Lawrence Nyazema. Lawrence, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us right here on NewsPlus. Now, the banking public has not been able to transact in the last 2 days. When is this likely to be resolved?
As we speak, I would say about a quarter of the banking industry is ready and up and running in terms of ZimSwitch and in terms of RTGS. I expect at least another 50%, which is the majority of banks, to be up and running by the end of day today. So as we start our work lives tomorrow, I expect around 75%, give or take, off the market to be up and running and available to the banking public, which means you can go into a supermarket and swipe your ZiG balance, which means you can do your ZipIt, which also means you can do transfers via RTGS for large amounts. It might take until Tuesday, end of day, or Wednesday for the rest of the financial institutions to be online. In my view, this is one of the fastest and smoothest currency changes you are likely to get in the world. We are obviously using experiences that we have had from previous currency changes, and I would want to thank my colleagues in the banking sector for having prioritized the requirements of our customers and having worked throughout the weekend to ensure that we are where we are today.
Now, the high-level facilitator for the Debt and Arrears Clearance Program, former Mozambique President Joaquim Chissano, today met Zimbabwe's leader, President Mnangagwa, at State House. Speaking to the media after the meeting, President Chissano said it was important to be updated with what is happening in the country to be a better facilitator. His visit comes at a time when Zimbabwe has recently declared a state of disaster due to the El Niño-induced drought.
How the hurricanes have created some problems here, how is the economy going, how is the political situation, and all this. And so we are just having a dialogue like this for me to be better educated on the situation in Zimbabwe, as I'm playing the role of facilitator of the higher level dialogue with the partners. So I have to be always aware,
abreast of
the thinking of the president, the thinking of your people, the people of Zimbabwe, and so on.
Parliamentarians serving in the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture have been urged to fully execute their mandate and take on the responsibility of directing government policy towards achieving food sovereignty. Speaking at a capacity building and validation workshop for the Lands and Agriculture Ministry Committee, Speaker of Parliament Advocate Jacob Mudenda said the country should focus beyond food security and think along achieving food sovereignty, which is in line with the National Development Agenda as enshrined in the National Development Strategy 1 blueprint. He explained that food sovereignty prioritizes local food economies, ensuring sustainable food availability, and centers on culturally appropriate foods and practices. Rather than catering to market demands and corporations, it places food producers, distributors, and consumers at the core of food systems and policies. United have condemned the behavior of some of their fans who invaded the pitch during the match away to FC Platinum at Mandava on Saturday. The match was abandoned in the 86th minute with FC Platinum leading 1-0. In a statement on Monday, the club said it condemned in the strongest terms any acts of violence at football matches. They further went on to call for supporters to assist in identifying the culprits who took part in the pitch invasions.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.